All right. Welcome back to another episode 2 of Dad Volume 1. I decided to name this one Preparing for Fatherhood. What better topic, I think, especially on the father side, than to start with on this journey of this podcast, right? And I thought that was important because, I learned quickly that you can have plans, of course, but it's not going to go the way you think, right? I wrote down what I want to take away from this show is to have an open-ended plan of action and take what works and change what's needed, right? So have a plan of action, but make it open-ended. Don't marry to it. Don't say this way or the highway, or the way my mom did, the way my dad did it, because every kid is different. Every situation is different. And on a grand scheme of things, everyone is unique. So while you can Google and read books, and I'm not saying don't do it, just have an open mind that even though your baby could do 99% of what this book said, you're like, oh, well, that means this. It will mean completely something else. And you have to be ready for that, right? And I conjured up what I felt 3 topics, suggestions, I don't want to say tips, ideas that I think is effective across the spectrum. It's not niche, it's not unique, and I feel like if applied, it can work with what I said is a very unique situation. And those 3 things were be ready to endure anything, adapt to them, not the other way around, and to be patient. So before I jump in these topics, shouts out to everybody that's listening on Spotify, Apple, or wherever you hear me, and shouts out to the YouTube people, subscribe, YouTube who got the Aux Media. Appreciate the love. Let's get right into it, right? Be ready to endure anything. I have the quicker you accept your new situation, the quicker you can start to attack it, right? Be ready to endure anything means the first thing that comes to my head, I'm laughing about it, is 2 a.m. crying baby, I have to work at 5, right? Or babies sleep and then they wake up and you're like, wait a minute, you only slept 30 minutes. Yesterday you slept 3 hours. Yesterday you slept 5 hours, especially in that first 12 months, right? I have a daughter that's 1. I mentioned that in the intro if you didn't listen. So what I'm doing with this podcast is speaking from what I've already been through in 12 months, and I'm going to go as I go. So you're getting a guy on the job, real-time advice and information, right? So be ready to endure anything means exactly that. I've experienced already the 10:30 p.m. to 5 a.m. urgent care because she was sick, but she had a cold. But, babies are young, can't communicate, and I'd rather be overprotective than I need my sleep and then something horrible happen, right? But it's a weird thing that when I go through these crazy things, I always find myself laughing because I'm like, man, I've heard these stories. You've seen the movies. They always show those parents that are willing to do anything. And I'm like, this is anything. Like, who wants to go somewhere at 10:30 in an urgent care where it's already sick, which I found that interesting too. Like, I'm going to bring my sick baby to a place where everybody's just coughing up their lungs. There's no protocol. They just kind of hoard you in like cattle. I think a poor young girl threw up in like a break room and the family just left out. And not to get too graphic, but like, I find that ironic, right? Like, she was probably safer just being at home, but ended up not being nothing crazy. Don't want to leave y'all hanging on that. But it was like, once you accept the new situation, then you can attack it, right? And shouts out to EA Sports, college football. I'm one of those people that waited 10 years and that's been on it heavy. But what comes to mind when I say that is when you're playing defense, right? At least the way I play defense is I'm going to call a play, but I'm going to have like 3 or 4 audibles based off what is given to me, right? And because I'm assuming that this person is going to throw a lot at me, I'm able to have 4 or 5 different game plans, right? To prepare for that. So the same thing, instead of you trying to hold on to the life you had before that baby came out, every day I wake up, I read my book, I go for a jog, I go to the gym. You need to understand that anything can happen and start to have a good amount of audibles for that. And I will admit the first couple of times, when the baby came, I was trying to do, I could do that. Just plug and play, bring a baby in. It is not a plug and play. You have to make a decision eventually, right? It's either at least in the beginning, It's either going to be, it's funny. Let me correct myself. There is no decision. If you want to empower yourself and make it feels like it's a decision, go ahead. But there's only one answer, and it's to be there full time for the child, right? So be ready to endure anything. Be open-minded about the situation, and be comfortable with, putting yourself second. I know we're not taught to do that, especially before a kid, and even people die in relationships, even people in relationships. We're taught, self-care, self-this, self-that. Well, this baby takes all of your time, right? Or it should, because you're dealing with not only someone that can communicate with you. I mean, this is my first kid, so the whole neck control, like, bro, I can't even do nothing with an extra hand. I got a whole thing. Like, it's crazy, bro. And so you get to that point, and I have to make a decision now. Like, I've worked so hard to build these good habits, but you got to scrap it for the greater cause, right? So be ready to endure anything. To attach to that, what I'm about to lead into is to adapt to them and not the other way around. That's the second suggestion, right? And that means what I'm getting into. When we brought our baby home, I was still making content, trying to do X, Y, and Z, do my part. And then it got to a point, because you're going to get lack of sleep. I was forgetting to drink water. I was forgetting to brush my teeth. I'm eating late, eating early, just eating junk food, just comfort food is what it was. Like, when you have a bad day, you're like, oh my God, traffic, my job had a horrible day, messed up. What do you want to do? You want to go get your favorite stuff, whether it's fast food, ice cream, chips, whatever that case may be. So imagine feeling like that for like 4 months straight. Just every day. And again, I'm a new parent, so this is my first time at this. But every day, it's great. I love my daughter. It's amazing. She was doing amazing things, but it takes a toll on your body. So, like, do I feel like waking up, making noise in the kitchen, trying to make breakfast and ding, ding, and then standing over a stove for 20, 30, or just boop, nutty bar and hot Cheeto, like just something to be in me. It was all I needed. Like, I remember I was not drinking water, and I'm a water drinker. Like, I love water, but it was, for some reason, it just was not appealing to me. I don't know what it was. I just couldn't consistently intake my water, forgetting to brush my teeth, and that stuff has to do with noise. I wake up early, the baby's still in bed. Am I finna go in the bathroom and do my morning routine? No. And then it's like, oh, you can bring in the second bathroom, but it's like, I don't want to make any noise, even if it's nowhere near. If I snap my finger in a garage and she moves, I'm gonna feel like that was my fault, right? So you have to adapt to them. So I had to make a choice, basically, and that's what I was saying, is I stopped the content, stopped working out, stopped doing all the things that was good for me, and was there 100%. And when I mean 100%, I don't mean, oh, I'm doing my part to relieve my wife. No. 100% is, she's breastfeeding, I'm sitting up, either supporting her. What do you need? You need a diaper, you need a towel, you need ice, you need water, you need anything. You're up, she's up, I'm up, right? We're bathing her. Either I'm doing the bathing, she's waiting to dry her, she's doing the bathing, I'm waiting to dry her. Sometimes she did on her own, I did on my own. If she wants to play, I'm right down there with her on my stomach, boop, 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 picking her up like 100%, because I'm of the belief that the relationship starts from day one. And I'm going to have an episode about the hospital and the etiquette and all that stuff. So I won't go into, like, not yet, like, how crazy it was from the hospital home. But, like, at home, I'm there. If you're changing the diaper, I'm right there. Because my wife, she took child development classes, and she was a preschool teacher. So, like, I was like, dude, I haven't changed a diaper since my niece. And my niece is 18 now. So, like, I had zero experience. So another thing you could do just by being there is, you can get tips from your partner. So we're sitting at the table, she feed her one way, and I do this trick. And I'm like, oh, I do this and help. And with the diaper, I do this and wipe. And, like, my wife gave me great advice on how to, especially to blow out diapers, how to wipe and all that good stuff, which would also be another show. But I'm saying that's what I mean 100%, not doing my part and then, okay, did my part, I'm out, like 100%. So adapt to them Don't try to hold on to your old life or your schedule, especially in the beginning. Just pour into them. So far, so good. Like I say, I'm recording now, so my daughter's a year old. So within a year, at least in my situation, again, every situation is different, I'm at least able to come back and start recording and back in the studio. And I did all that. I'm eating better. I'm drinking all my water. The last piece of the puzzle is get back to reading my books consistently and working out consistently. So I'm almost there. I'll let y'all know when I get to that point, because it's tough. Also, the new college came out, trying to play video game, editing, so it's cool. Got to prioritize, though. Having a kid, side note, having a kid will teach you either quickly teach you how to prioritize or quickly drown you. I've learned that too. Like, there is no wasted time. Like, I'm up here recording, and then before this, I was playing a game. My wife and my daughter was napping. I probably should have took a nap, but I didn't. Like, you once you make a choice, you have to live with it. Don't do what you want to do and then be sad because, oh, I don't have sleep. Like, no. I know what I'm doing, and you have to accept that. That was a side note. The final thing is patience. Now this, I've always prided myself on this. I feel like I'm like one of the most super patient people in the world, and I owe it to my grandma, God rest her soul. I used to take the Greyhound bus during the summers. Now that I'm older, I realize I was the youngest of my siblings, so my mom was comfortable with the older ones sending them, but like, I get it, I'm the youngest. So when I lived in Detroit, spring breaks, Christmas, whatever breaks that wasn't holidays, mostly spring break and summer. That's what it was. Spring break and summer. My grandma and I would go to the CVS, get the Polaroid cameras, get a tape player with a headphones batteries. I would take blank tapes, press record, get all my mixtapes off the radio. It's just crazy me saying this because I'm only 33 years old, but that sounds like I was born in the 1800s. I know. And those bus trips would be 15 hours. I knew all the stops. My favorite one was I think it was Dayton, Ohio, because they had a Subway at the gas station. But you're stopping Dayton, Ohio, Chicago, Kentucky, and all over the place. And this is before the internet. This is before tablets. This is before anything, right? So you got to be patient. You got to have an imagination. And there is no are we there yet? You know what I'm saying? Like, even if you're making time, they're stopping. They're going to make every stop. So once you accept that, you understand, So I feel like that's where my patience grew from. But you have to be patient. And like I say, this third one and the first two, again, like I said, our situations are unique as parents, but I feel like these three can definitely go across the spectrum. Patience. And so I feel like parents of older kids can attest to this. You only need more as they get older, right? Like, it's not like, oh, I did my patient thing, now it's on auto control. No. I feel like I'm not there yet, but my assumption is the older they get, the more patience you have to have. But especially newborns, like I said, you got to hold their neck. They can't speak, blowouts everywhere. And I've kind of learned to respect my daughter. I've learned to respect what others would deem acting out, right? Because the way I look at it is, babies are the most purest forms of who we are, right? They haven't had society put those restrictions on them, and commercials and friends and haters put all that doubt and that self-doubt in their head. They're literally acting on impulse. So if she wants something, she wants it, and if we don't allow it, she's gonna reach, cry, right? That's not, to me, that's not being disobedient. That's being her natural self. And it's our job as parents to patiently show them the proper way of going about things, and also structure. Hey, sometimes you might ask politely, and it's just not the time or the place. That may make you angry, but patiently I will show you. Now again, every situation is different. My daughter is chill so far. We're cool, so I'm speaking maybe from a privileged standpoint. I'm sure people would tell me, hey man, so like, I've seen the comments, some of them kids, you got to like jokes and all that stuff. And I've had nieces and nephews, and I know some kids where I'm like, whoo, they will test your patience, but you have to be patient, man. What I was going to say, don't give up or get angry. You have to go to a special place. That was my notes on that. You have to go to a special place sometimes. Sometimes it's just, woo, you just look up and they're so cute, and you're just like, oh, just try to bring it back and understand what you're dealing with. Don't let your mindset of the world, like a little bit, like people treat me like, this baby trying me. The baby's not trying you. You know what I'm saying? Your coworker might be trying you. You know, your ex or somebody might be trying you. The baby ain't trying you. Nah, not that early, I don't think. But yes, patience. Just, if you don't have it, again, this is preparing for fatherhood. So be ready to endure anything, adapt to them and not the other way around, and to have patience. So while some of this is our plan to actions or actions, whatever the case may be, the takeaway from this episode was it's more of a mentality thing to prepare and less tangible, right? Because especially as fathers, the women, they grow the baby's kicking, they have a connection, they're speaking to each other, they're dreaming. I could talk to the belly, I could feel it. She might react. She did a few times, but like we're on the outside. You go to every appointment, it's mama, mama, mama. And especially, being a black dad, but a dad in general, the assumption in the world is, we don't do nothing. And that's going to be an episode, because while that may be true for, a good percentage of the population, deadbeat dads, you guys give that same energy to dads that are very present. I'm gonna do an episode on that. I've been out a lot of times by myself with my daughter, and it's very condescending, it's very undermining, it's very, you don't know what you're doing. It's very, from women too, but in general, it's just this assumption that it's like, well, you can't encourage men to step up if you're gonna treat them that way. But again, that's another episode. But get off on a tangent. You want to be patient, be ready to endure anything. Oh, I was saying it was a mindset thing. It's more mindset. Just mentally, the quicker you accept those things, and those three, it's way more. Trust me, being a father is very complex. I can tell you that. But I'm saying, I feel like those three is a good starting point, right? And you can ease your way into it as much as you can. But the takeaway is to understand there isn't one true way to prepare. Don't stress feeling like you're not ready. And that's a real thing. I felt that a little bit, like once the baby shower ended, you have your gender, you announce, hey, the appointments, congratulations, you're 6 months, 20 weeks, 40 weeks, whatever. And then that baby shower, usually for us, we had it like a month before my daughter was born. And then putting together all the stuff, and then that's when your house starting to, the nursery, the crib, the stroller, and then it kind of hit you like, yo, this is happening. And for me, unfortunately, I didn't have any real examples of how to be like a great father. I didn't know male examples. So I'm pulling from just what I feel is right, what I think is right, what people said is wrong, what I've learned to grow, and then also what I feel like if I was her and she, I was my own parent, how would I want to be treated and assessed? So, and I'm sure that's a lot of us, right? A lot of us didn't have great male examples to be prepared for this. So it gets real, and it's a little fear, and you start getting in your head, am I ready? Can I do this? Again, the world's not really telling you can do this. It's telling you deadbeats, statistics, deadbeats, black dads, black families. So it's like, all right, damn, I just gonna, like, how easy is it to become a statistic? Like, how hard do I have to try? Is it, it's a lot of questions. So, listen to this episode, take away those three things, add what you want. Of course, read the books, read the articles, go listen to friends and family. I'm not saying it doesn't work. I'm just saying take what you think and kind of make your own concoction. Don't follow one person word from word, because that's where you'll get a bunch of dead ends and a bunch of heartaches and headaches, right? So yes, I'll wrap that up. Episode 2, preparing for fatherhood. If you're at that point, I'm excited for you. If you just found out, I remember how that felt. I'm excited for you. If you're finally seeing the gender, I remember when that happened. I'm happy for you. If you're at the point where, hey, she or he can come any moment now, I remember that. Just be excited, be there for your partner, be grateful for the opportunity. I always say that. I was like, I'm thankful to have had the opportunity. She's here, however it goes. I'm just thankful to have had the opportunity at fatherhood. I really am. I truly am. So again, Thank you for watching on YouTube. Who Got the Aux Media? Subscribe, check it out. There's a lot of old videos. This is only my second episode of this dad stuff. So before I was doing a bunch of just advice, and I think a lot of stuff that I talked about, could steer you in this direction for fatherhood. So check it out. Who Got the Aux Media? Again, podcast whogottheaux.com is up on Instagram is up on Spotify and Apple and all those other places. I'm working on my sign outs. I said that on the intro. If you go back on the intro, I haven't done this in a while because of the baby, so I'm getting my groove back. And then you can see me, Who Got the Aux, Twitter, X, Instagram, TikTok, all that good stuff. Just other videos, shorts. I'm going to be doing daily stuff, this happened, stories, just vlog, but not really a vlog. I'm not that invasive on my life like that. Just, go along for the ride. Appreciate everybody listening. You will see me at the next episode, and not sure what I'm gonna talk about. That's another thing. I kind of painted myself in a corner trying to do the whole, this is what we're gonna talk about next week, and and I'm gonna come out Tuesdays and Thursdays, and then fatherhood kicks in, parenthood kicks in, and then you realize until I get this thing going, there's some days that Tuesday I'm supposed to release, she might have a blowout or is super irritable, and I got to take care of it. I got to relieve so I'm not there yet where I can give you a solid schedule, but just know this is a thing, and content will be coming out, and I appreciate y'all for watching and listening. See y'all soon.